I watched 30 movies last year. Here's what to look out for. Number 10, we have Boy Kills World. Boy Kills World is this year's John Wick film. So, in this movie, it's following Boy who grows up as a kid throughout his life, training to become the ultimate assassin. Boy is played by Bill Skarsgård, and this isn't his only movie on this list today. Skarsgård does an amazing job as Boy, even though he has no dialogue lines, which was kind of fun and unique to this type of character. Although in John Wick, might as well have not talked. We follow Boy throughout his life, being trained to become the ultimate assassin. And although this story is kind of not the best, it's definitely worth the watch if you want just turn your brain off and watch some violence type of movie. It's really fun. Has a bunch of twists and all that. The fights and everything are kind of unexpected. And it's overall just the best action movie I'd say this year. Coming in at number 9, we have The Bike Riders. The Bike Riders follows a photographer who joins a motorcycle club and just documents their life over the years. I wasn't expecting too much coming into this movie, but Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, and everybody else in the film do such fantastic performances. There are 2 love stories in this movie. One with Austin Butler and his romantic life, which is rich in its contents, and then you also have Austin Butler and his love for Tom Hardy's character, and just the love of the crew, because they are family. And if you're looking for a really good drama this year, The Bike Riders is definitely worth the watch. If you're a big Knives Out fan, this is the movie for you. Conlay follows the procession of voting for the new pope after he passes away. Now, it's a very unique story where you get to actually be inside the voting process because they block it off from the world, so there's not really too much other than the announcement that the public gets to see. Being on the inside of the church during this process is such a journey. There's different members of the church undermining one another, trying to make the others look bad so they can get the votes to become the next pope. This is all going on while there's something happening outside of the Vatican that we're not allowed to see as the audience, since we are locked in the church and we're not allowed to have that outside influence to decide who the next pope should be. Overall, this is a really fun movie for mystery, drama, and you really just want to figure out, one, who's going to be the next pope and who should be the next pope. And just amazing performances throughout the entire movie. And my favorite part of the movie was actually the audience reaction to the ending of who gets to voted pope. There were some people that were very upset and some people that were cheering. So I'll leave it there for you to find out. But definitely worth a watch this year. Number 7 is probably my most anticipated movie that made the list this year. Longlegs. Longlegs kind of did themselves in with their marketing. Longlegs marketing was really good, but it didn't live up to that marketing hype. The movie is a horror which follows a cop trying to find the Longlegs killer who has been in her life since she was a child. And there's so many different twists, and you wonder what's real, what's not. How they play with the devil in this movie is amazing. And you're just constantly tense, wondering, is someone going to jump out at me? Are my characters safe? So on. And overall, this is probably my favorite horror movie this year. My favorite scene is when the cop comes home and she's sitting at her desk, and it's just so tense. You don't know what's going to happen. You start seeing shadows behind her. Everything's blurry. You don't know what's going to happen, where Longlegs is. And it's just the most tense I have felt during a horror movie in my life. This is definitely a recommend if you're into that kind of stuff, but don't go in expecting it to spook your socks off. Number 6 is coming from a bit of an overhyped series, I guess. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Mad Max. It's a good movie, and so is Furiosa, but I'm not the biggest fan. However, Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and everybody else in this film do amazing work. Chris Hemsworth, every scene he's in, just steals the thunder, and his character Dementis just sick and vile, but in a really fun way. It's really hard to compare Chris Hemsworth to any other role that he's been in, because this one is just such a breakthrough since for the past few years between Thor and Men in Black, I guess. And he also had a really good film this year, Transformers 1, so this is a great year for Chris Hemsworth. Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, also really good. I will say the chase scenes are still there. The action is compact. The visuals are really contrasted, but it's really fun. It's a really fun movie. It's probably one of the better. It is the best action movie this year. You're not going to get anything better, and it's kind of develops the world of Mad Max a bit, and expands on and gives more context to Mad Max. So definitely worth the watch, especially if you're a fan of Mad Max Fury Road. Not a lot of people seen this movie this year, so it might have flown under your radar, but definitely worth a watch, and it's really fun. Coming in at number 5, we have Dune Part 2. Now, Dune Part 2, it's better than the first one, but personally, I'm not the biggest Dune fan. It was amazing what they were able to accomplish, especially with how big of a movie this is, and that alone is worth the watch. The characters are super well versed in their depth. Austin Butler, another hit from Austin Butler this year. He's one of the standout characters throughout this. My favorite part of this movie is when we visit the Harkonnens planet. Now, the way that they shot this, making it black and white, was really amazing. And especially with all the orange from being in the Dune planet, spice fields and whatnot, it's such a contrast from where the Harkonnens are coming from. So Dune fans rejoice, because this movie is really good. The fight scenes between Paul Atreides and Austin Butler, really funny. Or no, well, not funny, but really good. Following Paul Atreides from the first Dune movie into this one, and just seeing the progress of him becoming who he's going to become, I guess is the best way to put it. It definitely sets up Part 3, which I believe is writing a script right now. And if you are a Dune fan, they came out with Dune Prophecy, which is kind of a prequel, but it got renewed for a season 2, so it might lead into Dune Messiah, which is the 3rd movie that's going to come out. So overall, Dune is just a solid franchise, and if you have the time to sit there for 2 to 3 hours, then sit there for the 2 and 3 hours. Coming in at number 4 was my number 1 movie throughout the majority of the year, up until the last week, really. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is really good, especially for it being a new trilogy. I was a bit concerned because I thought they were just going to replace Caesar and all that and just have it be another ape movie. But I was wrong. So this movie follows Noah as he goes into this new world, kind of away from home, and tries to help this new human. Now, the humans in the old movies, give or take, some are good, some are bad. Now, the humans in this have devolved, kind of, because of the monkey virus. And it's really cool to see the difference between that a few hundred years maybe has made, especially within the story. Because you have Noah and his family who kind of live by the word of Caesar, where you don't really want to be violent. But then you have Proximus, who kind of twists Caesar's words. And Proximus is probably the best villain of the year, definitely, I would say. And Proximus does such an amazing job. Proximus steals the show in every scene he's in. And yeah, definitely a really fun action movie, really fun monkey movie. And I'm pretty sure it's leading into another trilogy that will be really good. And what they're doing, or how they set up the next movie, was really interesting to see, and definitely got my ticket for the next one. Now, number 3 isn't my favorite movie by a long shot. I didn't really enjoy, per se, this next movie, Nosferatu. I didn't really enjoy it on a personal level, but I know it was a really good movie. So Nosferatu follows Nicholas Hoult as he goes to sell Count Orlok some land. As the story progresses, we learn that Count Orlok is Nosferatu, and it's just like crazy what happens when Nicholas Hoult gets to Orlok. It's not hard to follow, but you're blacking out with Nicholas Hoult. You're losing time as a viewer. It's hard to follow, but as the movie progresses, you become more and more aware, and you're really fighting to try and get this Orlok guy out of the picture. And something that, if you're going into this movie with no knowledge, it's going to be a bit of a shock. I did not expect Nosferatu to be a sex demon, and I'll leave it there. But a really funny movie. People were giggling in my theater. Other people said that they didn't think it was funny at all. But it's definitely worth checking out if you have the time. So coming in at number 2, we have Anora. Anora is a bit of a surprise hit for me. I tried watching it in theaters throughout the year. Never came to any of my cinemas, which kind of sucked. So when it finally came to streaming, I was super hyped to see it. And I knew nothing about the movie going in, and that's probably for the better. Because Anora is about a sex worker who gets a client who's a millionaire. As we find out, it's his parents' money, and his parents definitely would not accept this kind of marriage. So, spoiler, they get married, and then we have to try and watch them fight to keep their marriage, but then things happen, and we see how much of a spoiled brat he is, and then we go on a hunt to find him. And that's about as much as I'll get into, but it's sort of a love story between Anora and the rich kid, but also there's a lot of love in there that you don't really expect, especially with how violent some of the scenes can get. Anora is definitely worth the recommend, but huge warning, there's a lot of nudity, so maybe not around the kids. Now, I want to give an honorable mention to my most anticipated movie of the year, Sonic 3. Sonic 3 is definitely the most fun action, comedy, adventure movie that came out this year, but as a movie, not the greatest thing in the world, but I was definitely excited to see it, and so were the other people in the theater. There were a lot of characters that showed up. We had some cosplayers as Tails, a lot of people bringing stuffed animals of Sonic plushes, and a lot of characters. So if you didn't see it in theaters, probably for the best. Sonic 3 definitely delivers on the fun factor. Jim Carrey steals the show in every scene he's in. He plays both Ivo Robotnik from the past 2 movies and also Gerald Robotnik, who is his grandfather. And those two together, or I guess Jim Carrey's together, really fun. There's a few meta jokes which really land, but it's both really fun action comedy kids movie, but it's also dark and explores like, hey, the world is not good, but Sonic and his team shine through. They set up a 4th movie, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, Sonic 3 definitely worth the watch. If I don't think it's that long, could be wrong, but it's really fun. I hate to say it, but number 1, I avoided watching all year. It was just not a good year for Tom Holland's press. So number 1 is Challengers, which follows Zendaya and her 2 love interests who are playing tennis against each other. We learn that these 2 have been on a team who grew up together, always played together and all that, but then Zendaya comes in and is a homewrecker. And the drama between these 2, but also between Zendaya and the boy she doesn't choose to marry and all that, super fantastic. This is definitely the movie of the year. You end up becoming passionate about tennis, I could say, because the final match in this movie, they kind of lead you along the string throughout the movie, saying the only thing that matters is a good game of tennis. But there's just so much tension between all the characters. Who loves who hates who. Is it really worth doing all of this for just to shame somebody, I guess. But yeah, no, this is by far the movie of the year. Challengers is just amazing. I wouldn't say it's a 5 star or anything crazy like that, but it was definitely the standout of this year and a must watch. Let me know what your favorite movie was in the comments. I really want to know what I missed out on, what you think should have been here. Movies that I might not have liked, like The Substance, you might like, and you should get on me in the comments about why it's a good movie. But maybe you're a Joker head, maybe you're a Madam Web head. Let me know. Leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe. Hopefully, I do more movie videos as more movies come out this year. That's something I kind of want to do. Just talking about new movies. So hopefully this video was good for recommendations and you check out some of the movies. Yeah, thank you for watching. Hey, Editor Dawson here. Just a quick second. Go follow my Letterboxd. This is where you can stay most up to date with what I'm watching and get an early preview on these types of videos. So check that out. Bye.